What's up, y'all? TC, Spiritual Shepherd. Welcome back to the Spiritual Shepherd YouTube channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Share this with somebody that you feel would find this of value. Find everything in the description, including my website, different types of ebooks, my podcast, and other different types of connections through that. That's all I'm going to say about that. Ultimately, today we are talking about being sober, straight edge, XXX, other different types of things like this. The reason why someone would go straight edge is for the benefits of being sober. So I've already done this for a year, and I'm ultimately going to go into the aspects and why I'm doing it again, and also thinking more indefinitely, thinking more like I'm just going to do it indefinitely. Here's one big thing too. I'm going to bring up studies. I'm going to give you my personal thing, go a little bit in my backstory, and talk a little bit about the past that I've awakened and arised out of, that I no longer resonate with, and that I've let go. And so also, I'm going to be getting into different celebrities that generally the public will idolize, and they will, they might sing about it. They might be artists that create music about it, drug use, alcohol, whatever, that still don't do it, and they're actually sober-minded, but they're obviously under contract and different things. Same with movie stars and people who generally are actors or actresses who might consume alcohol in the movie, or even consume food in the movie, but then generally they'll be liquiditarian or not actually drink alcohol or do drugs outside of their movies. So I find that very interesting, and I find it a really, really specific correlation that people must understand, that you are celebrating people. You're celebrating bad behavior, and then if you understand that creates a positive feedback loop to create more bad behavior, then that is where you must look. You have to look at that psychology. So what we do is we give positive feedback loops and positive acknowledgement, and you treat good behavior, okay? And you do this on purpose, because then that brings out more good behavior, okay? And here's one big thing too is Jordan Peterson. Here's a quote, okay? Jordan Peterson, he's a psychologist, okay? And he had been talking about alcohol. He's completely sober. He doesn't drink any alcohol, but he has a quote on alcohol where he says that if medication, so medicating with liquor or alcohol, is also connected to, the cause of the problem, then you're actually creating a positive feedback loop in your brain to think that alcohol is okay. And then you're also reiterating the fact that you will become an alcoholic and suffer from alcoholism. Okay? If I sound a little bit under the weather, it's actually very interesting, because I feel like my DNA codes are upgrading. I feel like my energy is upgrading, because I've been eradicating toxicity out of my life. I've been eradicating ignoring people, and I've been raising my vibration so much. I've been increasing my higher vibration. I've been doing my breath work, waking up every day early, doing my journaling, just getting into this is, I feel like, the best version of myself, and this best version of myself just keeps getting better, keeps getting richer, keeps having better relationships, keeps having better cultivation of his health, better cultivation of his wealth, better cultivation of family, friends, connections, meeting soul tribe, so many different things. So if I sound a little bit nasally, that's it. So ultimately, guys, here is a bunch of stuff that alcohol does, okay? It makes you 50% more violent. Generally, people who drink alcohol are either 50% more victimized to violence, or perpetrators of violence from consuming alcohol and being in environments and surroundings that have alcohol. So a little story time too, because I said I'm going to get into past story times, but here's a short story. It actually happened a couple weeks ago. They tipped me $100. It was awesome. It was really cool. But ultimately, one of my tables had been, this woman drank 3 ounces, 4 ounces maybe of her wine. Like, and she was very like adamant that like, I need wine right now. So I could already tell that she probably suffers from alcoholism or suffers from being an alcoholic, and generally feels like she must cope through these mechanisms of drinking alcohol to either be more social in her social economic realm, or in her society realm, in her social relationship environment. So she was with her family of 12. She was older, but she had come up after 20, 30 minutes, and she said, we've been waiting for an hour. Find our food right now. Like, she was not rageful or rude or anything. She was beyond rageful and rude. And I'm not in any way gossiping. I'm just saying that this is a perfect example that I've seen from my perspective and perception, that this woman is dependent. She's codependent upon alcoholism and being an alcoholic, to where she actually became more violent about food, about sustenance, about eating, about a meal. And all she got was a salad. So clearly, like, I know it sounds crazy, but like, if you get a salad, you're not that hungry. I don't know. Like, I've just studied health enough where like, she was like, I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like something entered her. And like me, I just ignored her. Like, I was busy. I had 2 parties. I had 4 or 5 tables, and they were one of those parties. And one of them was a party of 12. One of them was a party of 11. So I was taking care of over 40 people at that time. And anyway, like, I had no time to give her energy. And I was just like, all right, whatever. Like, and then she went to somebody else, and all this different type of stuff. Their food dropped like 5 minutes later, and it's Saturday or Sunday or Friday. It's like a busy time. Like, and you're a party of 12. Like, dude, relax. Like, but I could just tell that this woman was suffering from alcoholism, etc. So that was also just an example in my day-to-day life that I already see, like, it makes you more violent and aggressive. And also, it does make you more aggressive. Like, that is, I know we were talking about violence, but like, it makes you more aggressive. So it makes you not care about medium to long-term consequences of your life, good or bad. It literally puts you in the now. Jordan Peterson talks about how it's cocaine, a benzodiazepine, a benzo, cocaine, and heroin, all wrapped in one legal drug that is liquid. So people will perpetrate it that, like, it's like water. It's like, all you do is distill sugar. All you do is do different. You have a distillation aspect of this. It's very pure. Oh, you could get one that's only 90 calories. Oh, all this different type of stuff that's very interesting based on the vibration of how they commercialize it and how they advertise it, which I've studied marketing, but they're negatively marketing to poison people. And ultimately, if you actually understand that people who are, I guess you could say, in control, okay, or people who are running governments, read that right, listen to that right. People who are running governments, you have to understand that they need you dumbed down. They need you stupid. That's why they turn you into a robot. They have you acting like everybody else. And if you don't drink, then you act the same way because you've been schooled the same way. You have to literally go out and start thinking for yourself. All right. And this was how I actually got into alcohol. Okay. Because a little story time. Then we'll get into the studies and the celebrities and then close this out. But ultimately, guys, a little story time that when I was leaving my house and I ended up moving in, okay, so I was married and then I got divorced, and then I ultimately went and I moved in with a girl, and I had my own place. Like, I wasn't moving in. It was a platonic relationship. So ultimately from that, I had really cared about, like, I honestly liked the vibration that I was emitting, but not the actions that I was doing. I know it sounds crazy, but the vibration that I was emitting was like, I don't give up energy. Like, it was literally like, I just don't give up energy. Like, it literally was like that. And it was also like in a way that, like, I've just been told and controlled and like you must act this way or you are dark. You must act this way unless you are this, and this. And like, to some degree, like, I just was rebelling. And the rebellion and being a rebel has now transformed into spiritual rebellion. And I'm a spiritual warrior. Like, I'm a spiritual warrior. I'm a soja. So a soja, which is a soul Jah. So I'm literally a soul here to serve Jah, which is Jehovah or Yahweh. The 4 letters of the Tetragrammaton. You can understand those different types of things. It's also for cultivating the sacred secretion is exactly why I'm, not going to participate in alcohol anymore and participate in drug use anymore. And also, I'm getting to the point too where, like, I'm not going to say I'm not going to be vegan, but like I'm making radical decisions, radical rebellious decisions, but for positive inquiry and positive investment into self-care and self-acceptance of self-improvement of myself, etc. And so, like, one cultivation of this is like quantum jumping and transforming yourself and actually evolving yourself, elevating yourself into somebody who respects themselves, who has a good self-esteem, who has a good self-worth and trustworthiness of one's actions. To build worthiness of yourself, you must first build trustworthiness, which means that you must trust yourself, which means that you must build confidence. Why must you build confidence to trust yourself? Because you have to say what you're going to do and then do it, and then you will trust yourself. Therefore, you will trust yourself and build confidence. If you trust yourself, then you will build trustworthiness, where you actually become worthy of who you believe that you can be and who you really are. And so, like, your highest version, your best version expression, your impression, expressed, your positive heart, your positive mind, your positive physicality. You're not just buff, but you're a genius. You're not just a genius, but you're sweet. But you're so buff that being sweet doesn't come off as being a little B word, like, you know what I mean? And that's the same for women. It's also like you have multiple people who are going to be interested, and if they're not even approaching you, they're looking at you. And if they're looking at you, then it's also a point of chastising yourself. And from that, it means that you are setting yourself apart from other women, because other women will fall adept to those dark energies where they will seek validation. Okay. And so I think a big thing for women is encouraging and building your validation and validating yourself, validating your paradigm. Okay. And so a little story time was I ended up doing a lot of drugs and doing a lot of, and I drank a lot and all this type of stuff. And the reason why I drank and did a lot of drugs was because I just didn't want anybody telling me what I wanted to do or what I was supposed to do. And it's that simple. And I still don't, but I'm a little bit more evolved and elevated now. And now it's to the point where don't tell me what to believe. Don't tell me how to act. Don't tell me all this type of stuff. And the thing is generally this will come from people who are generally lower than you. I know this sounds crazy, and this sounds like I'm putting myself above people or anything, but like the real ones will know what I'm saying is like they will blasphemize you and they will literally cast you out. They will cast you out because you're a vegan. They will cast you out because you're fasting, but it's all in every one of your texts. It's whoever's watching this is in every one of your texts. It's in every one of your religious or spiritual texts that fasting is important. And it says when you fast, which implies through psychological implication and insinuation that you must fast at a specific time, because it says when. Okay. And then also there's plenty of if then statements in the Bible. Okay. I'm not going to speak for other religious texts, but there is if then stuff in the Bible. And so you have to understand that means that there is a timing to it. There's actually a timing for specific things, such as the sacred secretion, okay, which is similar to Ramadan, which is Islam. But you have to understand that there is a way to fast. There is a way and a place and a time to fast astrologically, okay, and many different types of things. And there's these correlations, which the sacred secretion is all about retaining your seed. So it's about brahmacharya, okay? It's about nofap. It's about semen retention is the best term for it. Okay, semen retention. And as you build semen and you do the sacred secretion, you do kundalini breath work, and you do cultivation of yoga, which yoga means union with God. Okay, and then there's many different correlations and texts that literally say that Christ was bringing yoga to us, like literally to us. It's a secret, and he was bringing this stuff. And the more yoga you do, the more that you can build muscle, the more that you can cultivate your 12 systems, your 11 systems for men, 11 systems for women. And the only one that's different is the reproductive system, the 12 systems. Okay, so the 12 systems represent the 12 zodiac, the 12 disciples, and that means that you have 12 disciplines of yourself. You must discipline yourself to build your bone. You must discipline yourself to build your muscle. You must discipline yourself to build your skin. You must discipline yourself to, and then there's also spiritual things too, about the words that we speak, the positive words we speak, and then not speaking negative words. It's also about having positive thoughts, which goes into the eightfold path. Okay, and people don't understand this, but if you have right thought, right concentration, right action, okay, if you have if you have right feeling, if you feel right all the time, if you think right, if you act right, if you do right, if you speak right, if you see right. See, that's the whole thing about this too. That's the whole thing about this is don't speak hate, don't speak harm. It's actually harm. It's not even hate. Don't speak harm. Don't hear harm. Don't see harm. And then it's therefore you will not be harm. Okay, you will be harmless. And not harmless as in you will be harmless to other people, but people will not be able to harm you. That's really where it is. It's not that you become harmless to other people. Okay, people are actually very, very afraid of light beings. They're very, very afraid of light workers. They're afraid of Christ because of the voice, because of what his perception is, because of his heart, because of his clean mind, his renewed mind, because of his action, because of his physicality, because his melanin, because etc. Okay, and you understand this, and this all goes into alcoholism. Here are some celebrities such as Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is, and he literally has a new album where he has, The Crown of Thorns and many other different things with his eyes closed, which is also saying what? Eyes closed, dark room, and then you can also see other different. I'm going to do a whole video on dark room and eyes closed too, so you guys can see that different type of correlation. But you have to understand that there's so many different celebrities that you idolize, okay? There's so many different celebrities that you idolize. Okay? Here's another one. Coldplay. The lead singer from Coldplay. Okay? Here's another one. Eminem right there. Literally everybody listens to his music, but he's actually been sober for years. Pretty sure he just celebrated 20 years. Another one. You guys idolize all these people. Another one. And another one. So you guys get the gist. Ultimately from this. Okay? And then there's different studies that Jordan Peterson has talked about where he says, like, obviously it makes somebody more violent or aggressive, but it also makes you stupider. It literally makes you stupider. And same with those Nick pins. Like, I've realized that it makes people stupid and it makes people aggressive and it makes people like feel like they're victims. It makes people victimize themselves. And it's like, in any way, I'm becoming more and more stoic. Extreme stoicism, extreme ownership of my spiritual discernment. And choosing spiritual discernment saves the subconscious mind. So choosing the environments that you allow to be in. Remember, the subconscious mind is non-personal and non-selective. So it's the environment that you put yourself into, which means that it is important that you put yourself into positive environments to have positive feedback loops. So it comes back and you have feedback. So here's the environment that you're putting yourself in. Oh, that's a good environment. Whoop. Better environment. That's what a positive feedback loop does inside of your neurotransmitters. And that's the same way of how we speak. So instead of speaking like, I'm not going to be poor, you say, no, I already realize in 50 million ways how rich I am. I realize that I have so many things that are just attracting because I am a magnet for an abundance of spiritual blessings and blessings. I am joyful every day. And somehow everything just works. Somehow everything is just wonderful today. See, when you start allowing God or the universe or what you think of is outside of you and you just say, somehow everything's going to just go my way today. Somehow everything's just going to go so great. Somehow I'm just going to be rich by the time I'm 30. And obviously you put action. Okay, so it goes into doing, being, having, acting. What is it? Do, be, act, feel, have, think. Do, be, have, feel, act, think. Do, be, have, think, feel. Okay, so as you think it, so you think positive, you feel positive, and you act positive. So you think, you feel, and you do, which is your lower half, your body. Your root chakra is your body. So as you think, feel, and you act, that's going to be in a trinity. It's going to be in a congruence, in a supplication, okay? Supplementation of it, okay? And it complementing each other, okay? So as it complements each other, then it's going to be with what you do, which is also action. But acting and doing are just slightly different, okay? But we'll just entertain this for a sec. Do, be, have. So do, have, be, do, be, have. So doing things, so people think that we're human doings a lot of times. People are just doing stuff. They're stuck in time. They're always doing stuff. But they're not thinking about like being the vibration of just being rich right now. They're like looking outside of themselves. They're looking elsewhere to validate their lack. That's what other people are doing. They're looking elsewhere to see their lack and to some degree. And you have to see that. Okay. And then you also have to see right now internally, okay. You have to see, what can I do? What can I do to feel better? What can I do to think better? What can I do to have better? What can I have to do better? What do I already have that I can do better? See, and you start contemplating on just those words. You just start and you rearrange each one of those words. What can I think to feel better? What can I feel to think better? How can I act? How can I act by doing things to feel and think better? Okay? How do I already have better thoughts, better feelings, better actions, better doings, and better beingness? How do I have that? Show me more of those things. And then allow God to speak it in you, through you. That's really what it is. Okay? And see that you're already abundant now. See that you already have it now. All right, so we're going to conclude this. I don't want this to go too long. Obviously, it's already gone over 20 minutes, but that's really what it is, guys, is it's for the sacred secretion. It's for the sacred secretion. It's for different quotes and different things like it causes people to be, I'm over drinking alcohol. I'm over partying. I don't even like toxic people. Most people who are watching this already kind of know. And the reason why is it wasn't even really to fit in with other people. It was more to rebel from people that just tell me that I'm supposed to act a certain way. And then I also realized that there's no upside to it. There's no benefit or upside to it. There's no cultivation or benefit to it. Same with smoking. Other than maybe you feel happier and you feel more joyful and it opens your heart. And that's really, but here's the thing too, is we've already talked about this in the spiritual community. When you're doing breath work and you're on the breatharian path, it'll actually slow you down. It'll slow your vibration down because WEED, it literally keeps you at 350. So if your vibration is at 400 or above, or 369 and above, or it's at what I believe mine's at, which is 555, something very, very high, and it goes up to 639, it goes up to 741, it goes up to very high vibrational, things. As you raise your vibration, it would bring you down. And people can realize this because it would build mucus in your body. But if you're in that low vibration and you're drinking alcohol a lot, then maybe this is exactly what you need. But the thing is you have to understand that you must transcend all of it. You have to transcend even eating. You have to understand what is eating. A lot of people eat fake food. I'm going to do a whole video about this, but there is like rice and noodles and pasta and fried food and fries and bread has no nutrient value. It actually has anti-nutrients. That's literally what it's called. Okay? Anti-nutrients. So you have to understand it's the same with alcohol. It's the same with all these different types of things. You must eradicate this. Fast from it. Fast from it. Okay? And hold yourself true. Be steadfast in your actions. Okay? And I know I'm not going to be for everybody. I know I'm not going to be for everybody. And I don't want to be. Obviously, I like to be set apart. I like to be set apart. I like to have a newer mind. I like a newer mind. I like the newer mind I have. And if you are judging me or whatever, by all means, talk the ish that you want to ish, but the gossip that you talking, you better stop it. Okay? So, here's one big thing, guys. You have to understand, last thing, that you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's still very important that you be who you are, okay? You be who you are, and you express love through your actions. All right. Peace. Much love. Namaste. I love you guys.